really, like one thing I learned that it will help me along because I'm gonna have to do it is to be able to document what we do. And me and another intern had to make a book, or a bibliography book, to cite our sources or where we got our information from. And with that, I was able to learn strategies and really learn how to research. And that's why I really appreciate this program.
Right, that was Jelani Saadiq. He's in, I think he should be in Mississippi right now. And I'm now going to have Jaime Carpenter, who's finishing up his degree at Parkland College, and we had two community college people work with our project, and that's another thing we want to also hopefully build bridges to Parkland College that people can use to get into the University of Illinois. So Jaime's finishing up his degree, and we're going to continue to work with Jaime and help Jaime, and Jaime's going to be doing some work with us in the fall as well. So Jaime, I'll just let you can just go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, wherever you want.
How you guys doing? I'm Jaime Carpenter. I live in Rentoul, and I've already graduated Parkland College. I graduated May 14th on Friday. I got my associate's degree. I got my associate's degree in digital media, website design, and hopefully I'll be able to obtain my certificate here in the next couple of months. Maria Mobster, she's a Parkland director through the CSIT program. She's the reason why I'm here now, helping out the interns and with this internship. I've really learned a lot about Champaign-Urbana and about like Black history, like African Americans, because I didn't know too much. But it helped me my mind up to what was really out there, and it's like, it really got me motivated to want to push his dream and want to get more involved with his work and to really help the community out and like teach other young kids about like what's really going on around them, because I don't think they know that too much, because like a lot of things is blocking their minds from that, like the music and clubs and stuff. They don't really see what's going on around them. So I think with this, me and Noah and maybe other people in the community can really push this to go somewhere and like change people's lives. And my part with the internship was to help Noah out and help the other 4 or 5 interns out with website design, because that's what my major was at Parkland. And I created 3 websites throughout the internship. Like the first website I made was for a woman named Angela Rivers, the Parks and Mural website. Me and the other interns, they helped me create that website. The second one was the Salem Baptist website for the Salem Baptist Church. That one went pretty well, and the interns helped me out with that one as well. And a third one I made, it's a pretty small website. It was a North First Street website, I believe. That one just has videos about when the farmers market was going on. Me and like 3 or 4 other interns, we recorded people's history or what they had of North First Street, and my job was to make a pretty small website, put all the videos on it. And throughout this internship, it has really helped me get to know myself as a person and like try to build up my communication skills better, because I'm kind of nervous about meeting new people and stuff, but the more I've been around the intern, the more comfortable I felt. So like, hey man, I gotta be open. If I just close myself, I ain't gonna learn nothing. So by me being open and trying to teach them my skills about web design, they may have something to do at their school, like, hey, can you guys modify this page? Then they'll know, because I taught them, I gave them the skills I learned throughout my Parkland years. So I'm happy y'all took a part of this program.
So next we're going to have, this is Rachel Harmon. She just graduated from University High School, and she just started an AmeriCorps position tutoring youth near Clarksdale, Mississippi. So she had to leave about a month early, and before she left, we recorded her final presentation, and I'm going to play that now.
So my name is Harmon. I just graduated from uni high this May. I'm about to go tomorrow and do a year with AmeriCorps doing a tutoring reading program. And then after that, I'm gonna attend Cornell University. And I worked as an eBlackCU intern this summer. And so I just wanted to say a little bit about what I learned this summer and just the whole process. So when I used to go to Mississippi, which is actually where I'm going to be doing the AmeriCorps program, we would go down. I started my junior year, and we would go down for a week during the school year. And we went to a place called Clarksdale, which is in northern Mississippi. It's like an hour south of Memphis. But there I just felt this very, very tangible sense of history, because you could, not during the time that I was there, but you could see the cotton blooming, you still saw shacks. And it just seemed like there's history everywhere you went, and there's always a story. Once we drove by the funeral home where Emmett Till's body was initially prepared. So just things like that, I just felt like, I could really see history. And in Champaign, I didn't feel that sense of history at all. I kind of felt like it was this little place that erupted out of the cornfields, and particularly in terms of African American history. I had no real understanding of it, and I think that's partially because it's really hard to be enchanted with the place that you grow up in, but also going to uni and being so involved. And in a school that's so intense and small, it can be really insular. You can really forget about what's going on outside of your school. So my senior year, my first interaction with a part of the Black community besides people who went to church with me was peer ambassadors program, and that's a very small slice of the Black community in Champaign. And I almost think it's hard to talk about a Black community as a singular thing, because there's such a broad range of interest and income and education and all of those things. But if we could talk about a cohesive Black community, peer ambassadors was a very small population. But I got to see people who were my age and interact with them. And then I also, with the SAMHSA board, got to see Black professionals who are mental health and juvenile justice. So that was really my first introduction to the Black community in Champaign, and that was the living Black community. And then this summer, with being an eBlackCU intern, I got a better sense of the history of the Black community in Champaign. I would say that my knowledge, just my understanding, not really my knowledge, but my understanding of the Black community in Champaign grew exponentially this summer. There were a few things that I learned, outside of the Black history of Champaign. I got a better understanding of the digital divide, and how the ways in which technology can exacerbate social inequalities, but also the potential that it has to change those social inequalities and to decrease them. And that's really important, and I don't think that in all of my understandings and thoughts about social justice and social inequality, I don't think that I ever really fully entered technology into that equation. And this summer has really, really taught me that that's crucial. The skills that you learn using technology, you pretty much have to have them in order to, really make a living. Or just in order to, not even just make money, just to interact with people. Increasingly now you need to have an understanding of certain technologies. So that understanding was really important for me. And also besides that, I learned some really important networking skills, and it also especially with the oral histories that we got to collect, which was actually my favorite part of the summer. You have to learn how to communicate with people who are 50, 60, years older than you, and that's really important to be able to communicate with people who grew up in a completely different world. That's crucial, and it's a lot of fun too. So the sense of history that I got from eBlackCU like made me much more appreciative of Champaign-Urbana. Gave me more faith that Champaign is not just like a white town with black people in it. And also like this is like much harder for me to articulate, but the sense of pride that history can give, and also just like this sense of affirmation that, like, I don't know, because it's really weird because I don't, like, my family is not from Champaign, but just delving into these histories and like seeing people who had done great things and who have been involved with like all of these beautiful things, it really did give me a sense of affirmation, and just like, these are things that you can do, these are things that your generation can do, and this is where you come from, in a sense, even though it's not my family at all. But it still gave me that sense of affirmation, and I really appreciated that. But in contrast, like, it also gave me a sense of some of the repeats that our community is going through. Different, like, like efforts and organizations that happened, 30, 20, 50 years ago, and in some cases, the lack of progress. And I think that is extremely crucial, and possibly like one of the most, important things about learning history. One of the most important purposes of learning about history is to figure out, like, I don't know, I guess it was good for me because I didn't have a sense of Black history in Champaign at all. And I really didn't know very much about the campus community interaction. Like, I kind of had an informal understanding of it, and definitely like looked at University Avenue as like a pretty clear like separating line. But I didn't understand the history behind that, and some of the ways in which people had tried in the past to like overcome that separation. And so in some ways, there are things going on in this community that have gone on before. And so that was really important for me. It wasn't necessarily like positive, but I think that it's really important for me and just for people in general to get an understanding of what's been done before. And to not be like, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but not to be so impressed with different initiatives and to be critical of them. So that was really what I got from being an eBlackCU intern. I was really happy to do this. I was really happy to work with the other interns and get to know them.
And that was Rachel Harmon. Again, she's in Mississippi right now, tutoring in the local school.